The Pittsburgh Pirates getting ready to host the Chicago Cubs in the second game of their three-game series. We are into the final regular season homestand of the year, and the Pirates have been raising that Jolly Roger a lot lately. Winners of 7 of their last 8 games. The Pirates, as we take a look at the current standings in both the National League Central Division, where they trail the Cardinals by only 2.5 games, and they are a game and a half up on the Milwaukee Brewers for that second wild card spot. Greg Brown along with Steve Blass coming your way from PNC Park, where we expect another great crowd. And Steve, hoping for another great performance from Jeff Locke. Last Monday he beat the Philadelphia Phillies, and Clint Hurdle said it was probably his best start of the year.
I wouldn't argue with that at all. 9 strikeouts, no walks, and he was doing it with a lot of variety, not just the changeup we've been so impressed with, but there's a ball sinking down away, another breaking ball, more extreme breaking ball. He's got a couple of called third strikes, but 9 strikeouts, no free passes. And Jeff Locke overall 7-4. He's had some blown saves. This guy easily could be 11 or 12 in the win column. So we just hope he keeps going. A lot of that depends on control.
And we'll also take a look and see this offense can't keep it up. Steve, we talk a lot about McCutchen and Harrison and Martin. How about the shortstop, Jordy Mercer, hitting over 400 over the last week?
Over the last week, and you can take it even further back. In his last 100 games, he's hitting right around 300. So he is starting to believe in himself. I think he's feeling confident that he is capable of performing not just with a glove, but with a bat in the Major League atmosphere. So Jordy Mercer has been a very integral part of this Pittsburgh Pirate winning record.
And hitting .327 on the year against left-handed pitching. And the Pirates will see another lefty, Felix DeBrunt, will be opposed by Jeff Locke, and the Pirates will try and keep the bats right as we continue. The Buccos and the Cubbies are next.
Is brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Betting. Know where you stand with PNC Total Insight. Let's go Bucs!
And here at PNC Park and along the river, though it's a cool night, still having fun on the Allegheny and on the banks of the Allegheny River, PNC Park, for Game 2 of the 3-game series. The Pirates' final regular season homestand is underway, and the Pirates dressed in black. Some of the players have asked for a blackout for the remaining games on this homestand as they take the field, getting ready to take on the Cubbies, and they have really owned the Chicago Cubs this season, winning 13 of the 17 games played. And Jeff Locke really owned the Phillies on Monday. We'll check out the Cubs starting lineup, brought to you by Honda. Rick Renteria is their rookie skipper. Arismendi Alcantara will lead things off. He's hit safely in 7 of his last 11 ball games. Homered last night. Javier Baez will play short and bat second. Luis Valbuena follows. Wellington Castillo is the cleanup man. Chris Valaika, Mike Olt, Junior Lake follow. Matt Caesar in right field, and Felix Dubron on the hill.
And Jeff Locke will be making start number 19. He's 7-4 on the year. This guy's been quite a bit under the radar. We keep hearing about Cole and Liriano and Volquez and the health issues for Charlie Morton, but very consistent work from Jeff Locke. Stunner of a game, great game against the Philadelphia Phillies last time out. 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, no walks, and only 3 hits. And the winner of his last 5 out of his last 6 decisions, and pitching very well in this ballpark. So Jeff Locke has been on a very nice roll the second half of this year as compared to the second half of last year.
Defense behind him. It's brought to you by Volvo. Andrew McCutchen in center. Jose Tabata in right with Travis Snyder in left. Gabby Sanchez, Neil Walker on the right side of the infield. Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer on the left side. And Russell Martin, the Pirates catcher. Josh Harrison is currently the league's leading hitter. .318 on the year, 3 hits last night. Andrew McCutchen is chasing him. He's 3rd in the National League. Bucks have won 7 of their last 8, while the Cubs have lost 7 in a row. Rick Renteria, a rookie skipper, brought in knowing full well that this was going to be a difficult year, as they play a bunch of young players, especially in the second half. Here is one of them. Ball 1 on Alcantara.
And you're looking at a lot of young players for the Cubs. Traditionally young hitters, very aggressive. That might play into the hands of Jeff Locke with his off-speed stuff. There's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Take that.
Ball and a strike on Alcantara. Two balls and a strike. Garrett Cole did the job last night. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike.
One of the keys for Jeff, as we talked about leading up to his start, no free passes against the Phillies. Previous start against St. Louis, 5 free passes that paved the way for a Cardinal win.
Hit pretty well, but McCutchen will have room. Locke has allowed 13 home runs in 115 innings. This is 19th start.
5th career start against the Chicago Cubs. Just 1-0, 1 decision.
Javier Baez hit a towering home run last night. He takes some wild swings more often than not, but he showed off that power. 8 home runs now in 37 big league games.
You talk about aggressive swingers for young players. Here's the poster child.
Another beautiful night and a beautiful sight as the sun sets, casting that postcard-like look to the city. 2-1.
You'll get that look, especially this time of year when the sun has a different angle, some beautiful sunsets, and that is a good look.
Couple of strikes on Baez. He was surprised by this call from Alfonso Marquez that there was a strike call. might be setting him up for that changeup that Steve talked about before the game. Now they set up inside, and they got him with a fastball.
Again, 92 miles an hour, perfectly placed. Perfectly placed. Boy, I like the speed. You know, with his off-speed pitches, the good changeup, the good curveball, he's throwing at 92 miles an hour. That'll get him some good mileage. He gets the call.
Well, his last start on Monday, now whether the radar gun readings in Philadelphia were a bit high, he was throwing 93 and at times 94. You do have to wonder about those readings, but you said, Steve, heck, 91, 92,
yeah.
That's plenty.
Great separation.
There's 93. Luis Valbuena. 1 for 4, broken bat single in last night's game. Fouled off the foot. Evens it up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Jeff Locke, Steve mentioned 4 straight decisions that he has won here at PNC Park, and 5 of his last 6 overall. 9 home games, a 3.47 ERA, slightly better than his overall earned run average of 3.60.
7 wins and 5 blown saves in back of him.
Two and 1. He's gone at least 6 innings in 13 of his first 18 big league starts. And there you see the splits, home and road. Two and 2 on Valbuena. Jeff Locke is 26 years old, a native of North Conway, New Hampshire. Came to the Pirates from the Atlanta Braves in June of 2009. Bucks got Charlie Morton in that deal. Charlie Morton, Pirates are going to be coming to a decision with him probably on Monday. They talked about the 15th of September, deciding whether to continue having him throw in the bullpen, and a drop by Neil Walker, a rare drop on a routine ground ball. Just his 5th error of the season.
And that's about as routine as you could expect. I don't think he had to go a foot to the left or right. Ball hit right at him and just got far enough away where he had nothing left. And that's the Adam ball. So as a starting pitcher, what do you want to do? It's been this way for a long time. You want to pick up your teammates, because there have been so many times they have made terrific plays and back you to pick you up.
Ball 1 on Castillo. He had a couple of hits last night in 4 at-bats, the Cub catcher. Two and 0. Well, you know that eats at any infielder, but especially Neil Walker.
And especially when it's hit right at you.
Yeah.
I mean, as routine as it can be. It happens, but you never want to like it.
And so now it's 3 and 0.
Yep. We've talked so many times about Jeff Locke trying to work the inside part of the plate, come in on those right-hand batters. And he doesn't give up on it. He'll keep working in there till he either finds that groove or he's forced to leave that attempt. So he's trying to do, get in on the hands. Castillo has very good power.
3 and 1.
Oh, and you never want to say, hey, the Cubs are awful this year and that you should beat them all the time, for 2 reasons. You want to respect them, and they're capable. They've beaten somebody 64 times. So you don't want to get in that kind of a tone or theme.
Oh, off speed on the 3-1 pitch.
Yep. One of his real signature deliveries. Does not give it away. Doesn't telegraph.
Walked him. The 3-2 pitch came in. 2 on with 2 outs. Now Locke faces Chris Valaika. Locke with 33 walks now, along with 79 strikeouts.
He's faced 4 batters, has not recorded a first pitch strike yet, and you like to see that from every pitcher. One and 0 on all 4 so far. And misses there.
He talked about how he was constantly getting ahead of hitters his last start. Clint Hurdle mentioned that. Fastball command, a good finish. Velocity was up. The changeup, as Clint Hurdle likes to say, played. Curveball was outstanding.
Talk about the separation of speed to go along with all that, from 92 or 93 down to 79.
One ball and 1 strike on Valaika, former 3rd-round pick of the Reds. Signed a minor league contract this winter with the Cubs. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Valaika. Of course, Locke, regardless of the outcome of the inning, even if he puts up a 0, he has had to throw several more pitches since the error. Would have been out of the inning 1, 2, 3. Handful of pitches to Castillo before walking him. Now 1 and 2 on Valaika. Valaika was 1 for 3 with a walk last Saturday in a start. Jeff Locke strikes him out, strikes out a pair. We'll head to the bottom of the 1st. Cubs nothing, Bucks come to bat. Starting lineup, Clint Hurdle's Toyota starting lineup. Jay Hay will be followed by Jordy Mercer. And Mercer, last night, 4th career 3 RBI game. Andrew McCutchen hits 3rd. Then it's Neil Walker, Russell Martin, Jose Tabata in right, Gabby Sanchez, Travis Snyder, and Jeff Locke. Starling Marte still not ready to go. That slightly bruised left arm on that hit-by pitch. And Felix DeBrant on the mound for the Cubs.
Making just his 3rd start, coming over from the Red Sox at the trade deadline. His 2 starts haven't been bad. He beat the St. Louis Cardinals in the 1st start, pitched against the Bucks last time out, 5 innings, giving up 5 hits and just 2 runs. So he hasn't been that bad. In fact, he's got an ERA of 2.25 after coming over from the Sox. and maybe a little bit like a Jeff Locke type of approach. He's not overpowering. He'll throw this and that. He won't dazzle you with speed, but his 2 starts have been pretty good.
.318 average to lead the National League. Justin Morneau, who left last night's game with an injury, probably won't play the rest of the weekend, is second, and then McCutchen. On base 4 times last night. Jay Hay. Morneau, Steve, your favorite, the intercostal strain.
Oh yeah, always a personal favorite.
Yep.
Now the thing with the guy that gets hurt, now that average won't go down. So Jay Hay's got to keep it going. He's got to make sure that he at least maintains or thereabouts. Because Morneau is not going to go in a slump over the weekend.
Current batting averages in the National League. Harrison did not play last Saturday against DeBront. It's a one-hop shot to the shortstop Baez.
Nothing wrong with that at bat for Harrison, except he hit it in the wrong direction. Solid contact, as usual.
DeBront, a starter most of the time with Boston, but this year they had him pitching out of the bullpen a bunch, and he was not happy about that. He talked about it publicly quite often. Would prefer to go somewhere else to start. So they accommodated him, and they sent him to the Cubs. And Theo Epstein, of course, is the president, former Red Sox GM. So he obviously liked DeBront.
11-game winner for the Sox a couple years ago.
Another bouncer, this time even easier for Baez, and he waits a bit before gunning it to get Mercer. That brings up Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen was 1 for 3 against DeBront last Saturday. Hits last night for McCutchen. A lot of love here in Pittsburgh for the reigning MVP. Ball 1, that .311 average, 3rd in the league. He's hitting .338 this season against Cubs pitching.
Just 88 miles an hour, but some good movement away from Andrew on that outside part of the plate. Play ways outside the area. Point Park University strike zone. One and two.
DeBront on the DL a couple of times this year, once with Boston in May with a shoulder strain, and after he arrived here, he was on the DL. As he strikes out McCutchen, who certainly you never see that from McCutchen. All right, Dan, that is a significant piece of news regarding Michael Wacha. Made a couple of starts, spent a lot of time on the DL with that shoulder issue, and now shut down, and they don't know when he will pitch again. One ball, one strike. Andrew McCutchen wasn't thrilled with that strike 3 called. Alfonso Marquez, the home plate umpire. Mark Ripberger at first. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, at second. Paul Schreiber at third.
Could have got that call.
This is the one that Andrew McCutchen thought was off the plate, but you can see actually it did hit the plate. Oh, good piece of pitching there from Dubron. Alt toward McCutchen. Two outs. Alt is retired. He was 1 for 3 last night. Jeff Locke looking for that 8th win of the season. And yeah, he really has pitched much better this second half. He didn't join the Pirates rotation until the first week of June. There was a time, though, where he gave up back-to-back starts. He gave up 6 runs, July 26th, July 31st, against the Rockies in one of those starts. July 26th was at Coors Field, so you could throw that one out perhaps. And then 5 days later, gave up a bunch of runs against the Diamondbacks.
There's the second half of the 1-2 punch, the changeup, the slow curve.
Junior Lake, a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. And he pops this ball out to shallow right. Walker out. Fly ball to center, pop up to shallow right. We want to see how you root for your Pittsburgh Pirates. So why don't you snap a picture and send it to us via Twitter using the hashtag BucksFanPhoto, and we'll show your photograph during the game tonight. Oh, there's a good shot. True Buccaneer.
Captain Hook
is ready to go. We had the Buckaroos Kids Club today, where some great questions for Chris Stewart, Tony Sanchez, Brandon Compton, and Ike Davis.
Another good curveball. Nothing like a bunch of kids around a baseball atmosphere, is there?
That was great. Great stuff.
There's Captain Hook.
Line toward left by Caesar, and a fair ball into the left field corner.
Well, if you have to give one up, do it right in front of a pitcher that's been in the American League most of his life. A good hook followed by a fastball upstairs, and hail to Caesar.
He has never heard that. It's the first time.
I'm sure he's never heard that. At two brute, then die Caesar at second base.
10 hits and 49 at bats in the major leagues. Spending the bulk of this year in the minors. And now Dubron 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts since coming over to the National League. A young Bucco fan. In front of the plate, there's Russell Martin out there in a hurry, and that does it. 2-out double for Caesar. And Neil Walker will be leading off the bottom of the second.
It's Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
There's 0-0 going to the bottom of the second inning here in Pittsburgh. Fired up fans, don't forget tomorrow afternoon, a Kids Sunday, off day Monday, and the Boston Red Sox are in for 3. They're starting Tuesday night, interleague play, and tickets available by going to Pirates.com. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights at 7:05. Next weekend, the final regular season series. And the Pirates will be hosting the Brewers next weekend. Ball one on Neil Walker, facing the former Red Sox lefty Felix Dubron. 2 hits, couple of ribbies last night for Walker. (2-0). Walker now batting .296 as a right-handed hitter this season. Catcher Castillo goes over, and had he gone over to the other side, he might have had a chance to lean over there. Just a little bit to his left, that ball land over there.
Had a little room on that side.
Had he gone over to
the glove side,
5 feet to his left.
Yep. He established a position, and he wasn't going to leave it.
Ground ball, shortstop Baez in the dirt. Tough pick try by Alt. Baez got to that ball in plenty of time, but he had to do it over again. Maybe he'd set up for a better throw than that little sidearm slingshot.
Yeah, did a good job getting to it, kind of in between hop and then the casual flip. E6.
7 errors on Baez, who has been playing short since Starlin Castro has been out with that ankle sprain. Baez has been playing second in the minor leagues, but prefers short. Russell Martin now a 5-game hitting streak. And a bunt try toward third. Valbuena the bare hand, and he will get him. Valbuena had a really nice play last night on the bare hand.
And that's always the key. They come in bare hand. If they can get the hand on the ball, get a good grip, as he did right there, then he's got a chance. But getting the handle is the whole key.
Here comes Clint Hurdle. They might challenge this.
Russell is not a speed demon, but good hustle down the first baseline prompts this inquiry. You're going to leave it alone.
Valbuena retired Chris Stewart last night on the bare hand play. So bunting for a hit, but he gets the sacrifice.
He's got a little too much of it.
Jose Tabata now had a triple last night. And goes the other way. This could be trouble, maybe. Nope. Stay up long enough for Caesar to get there. And easily for Walker to return. 2 outs.
So they gave Russell a sacrifice on that play?
Yep.
Interesting. Good. Let's save some on that bat.
Keeps his average at .291. Now Dubron faces Gabby Sanchez. Dubron gave up 5 hits, 2 runs in 5 innings last Saturday. Starling Marte and Jordy Mercer had first inning hits at Wrigley against DeBront. Andrew McCutchen and Neil Walker had hits. Walker had a double. Sanchez was 0 for 3 but got an RBI on a ground out. The other hit belonged to Chris Stewart, who started that afternoon. And towards center field, hit it hard, but right at Alcantara. We'll go to the third. 0-0.
North Shore, one of the greatest Pirates ever to wear a Pirate uniform, and there's a lot of young fans, including this young lady. This is Madison Michaels. She's from Grove City, Pennsylvania, and she's 4 years of age. She has her sign, I Love Kutch. Now, it might look a little bit familiar. If you have a copy of the latest issue of Sports Illustrated and you turn to one of the pages on the article, you see a picture of a young lady holding the Kutch sign, and it's her. This is Madison Michael, whose picture is in the Sports Illustrated article with Andrew McCutchen, and a pretty cool moment given that Kutch is her favorite player. Now, Madison, what do you think? What are your thoughts on having your picture in Sports Illustrated magazine?
Good.
It was good. What was your reaction when you found out that you were in the magazine? What did you think?
It's good.
It's good. Now, rumor has it you could name 13 different Pirates. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you name us 5 right now? Give us your 5 favorite Pirates.
Andrew McCutchen, Jay Hay, Neil Walker, and
Who's pitching tonight?
Marte.
Starling Marte. Remember the pitcher you gave me earlier? Jeff
Locke.
Jeff Locke. How cool is that? Now, here's a cool story. We'll go to Mom Abby right here. How did you find out that your daughter was in Sports Illustrated?
We were actually away on a trip, and someone had sent a message to my husband and said, you know, she's in this edition. They'd gotten their subscription, and so we were able to find out that way.
Now, Father Luke, what was your reaction when you saw your daughter in maybe the biggest sports publication in the nation right now?
Obviously, we're pretty excited. She's a huge Pirate fan. It's been a great bonding experience for us. She loves coming down to the game, so it was really cool to see her in there.
Great thing. This is Madison's 18th game this season, Greg and Steve. Now, can you send it back to Greg and Steve and say, Greg and Steve, let's go Pirates. Back to you.
Greg and Steve, let's go Pirates.
How good is that? Thanks, Madison.
Yeah,
we're back.
Yeah,
How
great
good is
job
that?
too, Robbie. How did Robbie track down Madison? We have the Sports Illustrated as well up here. We're just leaping through the story, and we saw the picture of Madison that Robbie just showed. This ball drilled to left, and this one's going to be gone. Javier Baez
again
showing off that power. Last night, a high towering drive that left the yard. This one, a line drive shot. And for Baez, it's his 9th home run in just 38 Major League games. 2-0 Chicago.
Well, you're right about the power. when he runs, he's got that big swing, and when he runs into it, well, that was right in the garden spot.
A lot of big league hitters would do something similar to that with that pitch.
And number 14 given up by Jeff. Well, when you swing that hard all the time, if you make contact, that's going to happen every once in a while.
Baez now with 9 home runs and 152 major league at bats. Two 2-0 on Valbuena.
Instant offense.
Locke goes back to work after giving up the infield hit to start the inning. Now the home run. Falls behind Valbuena, 3-1. Ball line deep to right field. This is going to be off the wall. Valbuena into second base. A line double to right off the Clemente wall. Well, the infield hit, and now 2 line drives.
Inside part of the plate, and Valbuena just simply turned on it. Kind of hooking it away from Tabata. That's the result.
Valbuena thought double right away. In there easily with 2.
And stepping up here is another power threat. Castillo with 11 home runs.
And a base hit to left. Puts runners at first and third. Take a look at the body of work so far for Locke. The first batter of the ball game, Alcantara, flied out to the warning track in center. And he took care of the next hitters after a walk to Castillo. He struck out Valleca. Mike Old flied out in the second. There was a pop-up by Lake. Caesar doubled to left. And then the pitcher DeBrunt. This inning started with the infield hit to short. Line drive home run to left. Line drive double off the wall and right. And a hard hit single to left.
And that ball that Castillo hit up and in, almost fortunate that it was hit on the ground. That's in the power zone. Not far enough up, not far enough in. And hard to say he got away with the pitch, but perhaps he did. And now you take a ground ball right now to somebody quickly, settle this thing down, even if it might cost you a run.
There's a strike. Now he's thrown a strike, a first pitch strike to 4 of the first 14 hitters. That exact opposite what he did last Monday night in Philly, getting out in front of seemingly every hitter.
And that helps. It's not an absolute, but it sure does help when you're out in front 0-1 instead of 1-0.
Yeah, this ball bounced to short, possible 2, and it will be.
Yeah, we'll make that deal right there.
3-0, but 2 outs. And no RBI for Valleca.
Not sharply hit, but the Pirates do a good job. Clean work at short, second, and first.
Mercer, Walker, Sanchez. Ball 1 in the dirt. Baltimore's pitching staff has been outstanding the last few weeks.
Especially when you combine it with the fact that bullpen has been strong, starters have been good. It's the combination you want. You start hitting the ball around and pitching better, you can do what the Pirates have done.
This month of September, Pirates pitchers a .258 ERA. That's the best mark in the National League. Francisco Liriano led the way the other night in Philadelphia. He has been outstanding since coming off the disabled list following the All-Star break. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Broken bat, fly ball to left. That'll do it. A backswing hit Russell Martin. He got whacked. Mike Olt's backswing. Hopefully that's nothing serious, but as you see the bat breaking and flying and hitting Russell Martin. But you saw that bat break. Barrow coming back and not only hitting Russell Martin, but knocking the helmet off. Russell Martin got a piece of his shoulder. Man,
you hope it got most of the mask.
Really scary. Get back and also hit home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez.
A lot of damage. Bat, catcher, and umpire.
Travis Snyder leads off down 3. It's along a belated happy birthday wish to our buddy in Greensburg, Lester Gordon. Told us he turned 59 a couple weeks ago.
Birthday.
DeBrunt. No hits so far through the first 2 innings. Baez the home run in back-to-back games.
Continuing happy birthdays. Mentioned it last night. Helen Klassen, her 80th. And I didn't bring my notes with me, so I want to remind everybody that's a friend of Helen's. Celebrated her birthday. Helen, 80 years old yesterday. Big Pirate fan.
Happy birthday, and we'll have another one for tomorrow. We get 3 days in a row, doggone.
That's right. Yeah,
on the radio side.
I know. See, the heartless people in the truck.
Well, there's another birthday party. 41, and yeah, Leonard Skinner performing after the game. Saturday night special. 3-2.
I better get ready. I got a whole list of things here. Okay. All right.
Snyder shot past the mound and off of Baez. Travis Snyder against left-handed pitching. 13 hits and 34 at-bats.
Right on that. That ball is tattooed. Not much chance for Baez to react, even though he's that far away. Got a piece of it. Almost got a piece of LeBron.
Jeff Locke going to try and move Snyder to second. This has not been the best part of his game. Jeff Locke has struggled advancing runners. He does have 3 sacrifice bunts, but he's had more opportunities than that to try and get that man over. See if he can get it done here.
Toward first base if you can, Jeff. Third baseman's right on top of you. Some of bunting, by the way, is footwork to establish an angle with your body toward first. So any contact sends it that way. Same thing at third base. You open up, if you hit it, it's got to go in that direction. It's got a little bit toward first. You can even commit more if you wanted to.
Wants it right to third. Not a double play, but it is an out at second. Once again, Jeff Locke not able to get the proper bunt down.
You see Valbuena right on top of him. Strong throw, and if it's not on the shortstop side of second base, they got a good chance to get a double play.
Josh Harrison and a one-hop shot to the shortstop, his first time up against Dubron. Pirates have been tattooing left-handed pitching, especially since August the 1st. In particular, guys like Josh Harrison, Russell Martin, Jordy Mercer, and Starling Marte, and where they rank against left-handed pitching since August the 1st. Barrel Automotive League leaders. And in right field, Caesar for the second out. Let's go back to the studio. Game break with Dan Potash. Yeah, he homered in the first inning last night, a 3-run bomb, and the Cardinals never looked back. Matt Carpenter has homered as well. Franklin Morales of the Colorado Rockies getting up his 4 runs early.
Greg, the only thing surprising about that list of Pirate batters who have done well against southpaws is the absence of the name of Andrew McCutchen, who in his career has torched lefties.
That is, it's a big surprise. This year he's batting at .272 against left-handed pitching for the season. Here's a guy for the year, Jordy Mercer, batting .327 versus southpaws. Three hits last night. And to Baez for the force.
brought to you by the Chevy Sun and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Big Saturday night here at PNC Park. What's the next best thing to being here in the ballpark, Steve? It's
how good is that?
How about that, huh? Now, I hope those guys, can they see that? We'll wave to them and see if they wave back at us. Let's see. I assume they're okay.
Come on. Now
there's a little bit of a delay here. In a few more seconds, they'll see us waving. I don't know if they even know that they're on yet.
The guy went for a snack.
They're just now seeing themselves, but there's not much of a reaction.
Oh yeah,
there
we go.
All right, now soon they'll see us. Now wave. There you go. That's it. Well done.
Yeah. The borderline wave. Yeah. We could use a little more.
Little weak over there.
A little more energy.
Yes, sir.
All right, you got it.
Fired up. That's better.
All right. Saturday night. Checking out the Bucks.
One guy keeps looking like, where are they?
Yeah, come on, get the camera back on me. I'm dealing.
0-1 on Junior Lake.
That's pretty slick. That's festival seating.
Yeah. There's the camera. The splash cam.
I think we got the catbird seat. That's camera's got it.
Junior Lake. First time up popped to Neil Walker. Bottom third of the batting order. Jeff Locke looking for a quick, efficient inning here.
Yep. Out of sync. First four batters in the third reaching base. Three of them coming across. Well, they scored 3 last night. The Pirates got them. So spotting them 3 tonight.
Two count on Junior Lake.
Garrett picking up win number 9 last night.
A big
That's
swing.
better. Good looking curveball. Well placed. Probably I'm thinking it's his best pitch so far tonight. Most effective pitch, the curveball. He got hurt on balls upstairs with the fastballs. Give up the 3. Curveball's been good.
Misses in with this fastball to Matt Caesar, who doubled in the second.
And that would be really, I think, important for him to pick up that inside corner with those fastballs, to not miss so much and allow them to take it. That creates a comfort level out over the plate if you don't stay in there effectively. Good speed reduced on the changeup, but a little higher than he would like to throw it.
Stopped by Jay Hay. Throws out Caesar.
Well, you're looking down the barrel of that tidy half inning you were talking about here in the top of the 4th. 2 up, 2 down. Hard hit, but I think Josh was locked in by the time he took that bounce.
You know, pretty much stayed on his feet. You see a lot of third basemen that'll slide or dive.
Yep. Go down to
he
1
stays on his feet, gets up and throws it, and that's a nice play. But you see a lot of third basemen in the league will make that look like a highlight film play. You know.
Yep.
Two-0 on Felix Lebrun. Pedro Alvarez is not able to play for now.
DeBrant will not get a lot of infield hits in his career.
No.
That might be the career number right there. High chop over the head of Jeff Locke, and when it doesn't come down to Jeff, you don't have much of a chance. I mean, if it's any further than the pitcher, that high a bounce, you're forcing Neil Walker to come in a long way.
So an infield hit for DeBrant, and it brings up Arismendi Alcantara. Gonna get the jacket. But Steve, Pedro Alvarez frustrated because it's just not getting, it seems to be not getting better this foot. And you know, he had just, as if he was really starting to take to that first base position. It looked like more and more comfortable.
Yeah.
And then he pushed off at one point trying to make a diving play, pass first, and injured that foot. So he's taking it day to day, but the Pirates have said it's going to be a 4 to 6 weeks recovery time period.
And that's just at the perfectly wrong time not to be involved in this.
Yeah, you want to talk about how frustrated he must be not to be able to participate.
It's like being put on probation for a month and a half.
For the guy that was tied for the league lead in home runs last year. One reason this 2014 team is pretty special. Doing all this good work without Alvarez, some of their pitchers that went on the DL.
Well, I keep hearing the word to describe the Pirates resilient. You just hear it all the time, every day, everywhere. You count them out after losing 7 in a row, and they come back, and then they lose 4 in a row. And they show up, as they say, every night. They show up. Again, trying to get that pitch to be effective, a little more effective on the inside part of the plate to the right-handers. Still effective. It lets them know he's in there. Pick up some corners every once in a while.
Three and one. And it's a full count.
See Russell helping. Might have got the strike call anyway, but a little rise of the glove, and it's a flow. It's not catching the ball and then yanking the glove upstairs. It's just kind of all in one motion up. There it goes. Smooth.
Three and two on Alcantara. Ray Searage looking on. Dribbler. 2-3 on the putout. So infield chop single, and that was it against Jeff Locke. It is 3-0 Chicago. Fourth inning here in Pittsburgh. We're going to check out our day automotive this day in Pirates history. This date, 1972, Pirates beat the Cubs 6-4 at Wrigley Field, increasing their lead over the second-place Cubs to 14 games. Roberto Clemente hit the final home run and triple of his career. Went 3 for 3, scored 3 times, drove in a couple of runs against Fergie Jenkins. Nellie Bryles got the win for the Pirates, his 14th on this day in 1972. You guys had a 14-game lead, Steve.
It was a heck of a ball club,
man.
And Roberto's last regular season. Yeah, we did. We'd won the championship the year before and just never looked back in '72. It was
that's a nice, comfortable atmosphere when you have a 14-game lead left with a couple of weeks left in the season.
Yeah, and you're spending a couple of days in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. But that was a very strong ball club, very strong. And I had a chance to go to the World Series again, but it didn't work out against the Reds. But it was a memorable season. It really was. So was that. That looks like a fun evening.
Imagine what that looks like, and what this ballpark looks like.
It's like a jewel.
Yep.
Not the jewel of the Nile, the jewel of the Allegheny.
You know what Ike Davis told some of the kids in the Buckaroos Kids Club today? One of the kids asked what they like to do outside of coming to the ballpark. Ike Davis said sometimes, because he has a place right around here on the North Shore, sometimes he said, I'll come at 1 in the morning, I'll walk along the Clemente Bridge and just look out. It's so beautiful.
It never gets old.
Yeah.
He keeps saying it doesn't.
Two 2-0 the count. And 2-1 on McCutchen. Struck out looking in the first.
Not bad numbers this year against lefties, 275 or thereabouts, just not up to his standards against left-handed pitching.
Gibran was 2-4 with a 6.07 ERA and 17 appearances with Boston this season. He walked 26 in 59 innings. It's a lot of free passes, 59 innings of work. Has not walked a batter so far the first 3 innings here. Coming into this game, 3 walks in 12 innings since joining Chicago. And a base hit for McCutchen.
Yeah, look. Throw that high fastball up there, whatever it was, upstairs to the good major league hitter. See what they do with it. Target's low, pitch is high. Very high.
Well, you called it. It was a high fastball. The Allegheny Health Network Supermo, great shot of Andrew McCutchen attacking that baseball. And Sports Illustrated that Robbie Itzmakowski was talking about earlier
with Madison.
With Madison, yeah, in the stands, and McCutchen is on the cover this week, and it talks about how his dad Lorenzo would take him out back when he was growing up and would throw the wiffle ball to him, and how Lorenzo would draw a square patch in the dirt, and he would put his hands on McCutchen's center shoulders and look him in the eye, and he would say, this square here is the plate. Inside the plate is everything you love. It's your father, it's your mother, it's your baby sister, it's everything you've worked for. The plate is your house, yours to protect. And he would hold up the ball. He'd say, okay, this here, this is an intruder in the house. It can destroy everything that you love. When you see the ball, you swing as hard as you can, as if everything depends on it. Protect the house, boy. Protect the house, is what his dad would tell him in this story, this week's Sports Illustrated by Albert Chen. And you see him up there attacking that baseball. It makes you think maybe it's still in McCutcheon's mind to protect that house. Because he does attack the baseball.
Yeah, the house has been pretty safe for the last few years.
A lot of love in this house, his house, PNC Park, for Andrew McCutcheon. 1-2 count on Walker. Bucks have gotten their leadoff man on in each of the last 3 innings against Dubron. Neil Walker reached on the air by Baez, leading off the second. But he was stranded. Travis Snyder led off with a hit last inning, and now McCutcheon leads off the bottom of the 4th with a base hit. McCutcheon wanted to go, then froze, now takes off too late. Saw the ball in the dirt and took a few steps, and then saw Castillo grab the ball, and he froze. He's thrown out trying to advance on the pitch in the dirt.
Yep, got caught in the middle of indecision. There's the lead, the stop, and then the start that is too late a start.
If he takes off right now, Steve, and keeps going, maybe a shot.
Yeah, a good shot, because he's going to force the catcher to hurry. Perhaps there's a good chance he's going to have to hurry, and when you hurry, there's a chance that it doesn't work out too well.
Still 3-2. Fly ball toward left. Junior late. Two outs now. Kids Day tomorrow. Pirates and Cubs meet in the final game of this series. 1:35. First pitch time. All kids 14 and younger will get a Garrett Cole Fathead Junior wall decal thanks to Kennametal. Come early for the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street, and after the game, kids can run the bases. Presented by Kennywood. For tickets, go to pirates.com tomorrow. Two outs. Here's Russell Martin. And Martin with a base hit to left center.
Greg, we've got a moment. Got a nice note from Gary Wolbert, Lieutenant Colonel, United States Air Force, retired. I spoke at a sports banquet up in Clarion in 1977.
What?
And he said a nice note. This guy's senior aerospace science instructor in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Gary Wolbert. So a lot of years ago, said a wonderful note about that night and what's going on with his life in the Air Force. Retired Colonel. Gary, appreciate the note. It's very, very kind of you. Sent the note and a picture from 1977, making the trip up to Clarion. Say hello to the folks.
That's neat.
Thanks, Gary.
Jose Tabata. Fly to right, his first time up. Last 7 games hitting at a .350 clip. No home runs and 166 at bats in the major leagues this season for Tabata. Last time a Pirate went this many at bats without a home run, if you go back several years, Jose Castillo. Remember Pirates second baseman Jose Castillo? 221 at bats without a home run the whole season.
Rock never went that long, did he?
I don't think so. That was back in 2007. 2008, Niger Morgan had 160 at-bats without a homer. I'm sure, Steve, as the season goes on, that has to play on a big leaguer's mind. I mean, not that Tabata, they thought for a while when he was coming up through the organization after they traded him from the Yankees that he was going to hit a bunch of homers. This ball hit over the head of the right fielder. And a nice running grab by Caesar. Stayed with it. 3-0 Cubs. Javier Baez will be coming to the plate. Homered last night off Garrett Cole. A high, towering drive, his 8th in the big leagues. That led off the 4th inning. A different look to his home run here tonight in the 3rd inning. A line drive for Baez, his 9th. 152 big league at-bats, 9 homers. He has struck out 68 times in 152 major league at-bats. But again, you also see that tremendous power.
That's the way it works, isn't it, with the big boys? They hit the ball over the fence a lot and they strike out a lot.
By comparison, we talked about this on the radio side last night, that Albert Pujols of the Angels, 585 at-bats, just 64 strikeouts, 26 homers, 92 RBIs. Obviously, Pujols, future Hall of Famer. And
the Hulk is here, the Hulkster. Used to watch a lot of wrestling from Marigold Gardens in Chicago. Here they are. Getting after it on a Saturday night. What about the Scotsman with the kilt?
How about that? Oh yeah, the hot rod. And a bouncing ball to the second baseman, Neil Walker. They had him played perfectly over by the bag. Baez is retired, 1 up and 1 down in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, that's a shift on that side.
Now Luis Valbuena doubled off the right field wall in the 3rd.
Yep, Pirate baseball and Skinner.
Stick around for the concert?
Oh yeah. This is the kind of music you can understand the words.
We have to hear Sweet Home Alabama. Freebird.
Well, I heard O'Neill put her down.
Yeah.
agree, but it was an anthem.
Give me 3 steps.
Give me 3 steps, mister.
Give me 3 strikes,
mister.
2 outs, no doubt. Leonard Skinner, a classic. And speaking of that, next Root Sports Classics, Jay Bell, Rich Donnelly, Ray Miller, Bob Walk, Jim Leland, and Doug Drabick share their memories for Game 1 of the Pirates-Reds 1990 NLCS. Hear their stories watching the Buccos win their first postseason game since 1979. We like to call this one a sweet win in Cincy. Monday at 7 on Root Sports Classics. Root Sports.
Good to see Bream doing it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Way to go, Sid.
Yep.
How about that lyric in Give Me 3 Steps? I ain't even got a garage.
You like that, don't you?
Hung some flag up in the...
1-2 on Castillo. Castillo has walked and singled. Jeff Locke looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. Looks like the Pompiani family there behind the backstop there in the front row, huh?
Yep.
Bob and his wife Lisa, Chelsea, Selena.
Bob's got a night off. He's down a little closer than I was, isn't he?
Front row, the Lexus Club seats.
There it is. There's that. And we're in on the hands.
Incredibly talented, and I'm proud to be part of what you do every day.
On this week's Inside Pirates Baseball, we bring you part 2 of Ike Davis Mic'd Up. Talk to the guys about how many at-bats it takes before a young player just gets it. Recap the plays of the week and much more. Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network tonight after postgame on Root Sports. Nick Sofield, energetic first base coach.
Yeah, let's get him some company down there.
So far, nothing through 4 against DeBron. Gabby Sanchez will lead things off. He lined out to center field his first at bat. A double in his first at bat last night to right center. Ryan Kalish, the right fielder, had gone into the gap to try and make the catch. Got a glove on it, dropped out for the double. We talked about DeBrant and his control issues at Boston this season with 26 walks and 59 innings. No such issues tonight so far. Chris Bosio is the Cub pitching coach. 3-1.
Yeah, not much of a problem in his first 2+ starts here. So you go back to that comment you made about Theo Epstein. Liked him in 2012 when they went to the World Series.
Base hit. 4 straight innings the Pirates have gotten their leadoff man on. DeBrant was signed by Epstein as an international free agent in 2004. Base hit past Baez. Another great shot on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Snyder has one of the 4 hits for the Pirates. Ball 1.
You know, these kind of situations, you keep waiting around for the Pirates to break out, and the later it gets. It's only the 5th inning, but you don't want to wait around too long.
You want to get a run at some point.
Yeah. Eat into this lead.
2-0 on Travis Snyder. Walked a couple of times in last night's game. He's hit 1 home run off a lefty this season. Well, these Cubs pitchers have given up the fewest home runs in all of Major League Baseball.
Interesting with where they play. Most of their games.
DeBrant has yet to give up a home run with the Cubs. He gave up 10 with Boston. Three and 1. Had a calf issue after he was traded over, placed on the DL August the 1st. That's why this is only his 3rd start with the Cubs. Full count. Here's to the National League and in baseball. The Chicago Cubs have given up 103. Marlins, Padres, Nats 107.
It's a big item right now.
Yeah.
You want to see if you can get Snyder on base, make sure he gets a strike.
Just not able to hang on. That close to being a strikeout.
On the ventilator. Get him on base and you see if Jeff can put one down properly.
Look at that. That's how close.
Starting last night, the Cubs have had trouble keeping the baseball in the leather all night long last night. More here. We've got a couple balls almost caught tonight beside that one.
And a tap to first. Thought about second, but Olt decides to get the sure out and retires Snyder.
That was a big item for DeBron. Throws a strike, gets an out, costs him 90 feet, but doesn't put the first 2 men on base here in the bottom of the 5th.
Interesting, too, this year that lefties are hitting .319 against DeBron. Right-handed batters just .260. Locke, who failed to bunt Snyder over in the 3rd, has 5 hits and 39, I think at 40 at bats. 125 average.
I've never seen a left-hand hitting pitcher like to hit against a left-hand thrower. One of the reasons why there. As a pitcher, you look for as much of a comfort level as you can get when you're up at the plate. You hate to face the flamethrowers. You feel more comfortable even if you're 0 forever against guys that you think you can catch up to. Mr. Cole knows how to swing the bat, that's for sure, no matter who's throwing. Make him work, Jeff.
Yep.
By the way,
the ball in play.
My apologies to the Charlie Daniels band for giving one of those lyrics that is not part of the Leonard Skinner playbook. So I'm going to stick around and watch him anyway.
Tackle at first. Bolt will retire Locke. And 2 outs. Get on board with Bucko Baseball in 2015. Pirates accepting deposits for full and partial season ticket memberships right now. Get access to exclusive events, the best locations, and savings. Plus, customize your own membership. For more information, go to pirates.com/membership. Sign we saw a lot of last year. Saw it in 1979 at Three Rivers almost every night, and saw it a lot second half push last year. Josh Harrison 0 for 2. Big 2-out hit here would be nice. Lines it to center field. Hit it hard to the center fielder. Through 5, 3-0 Cubs. Some great shots once again from the Allegheny Health Network Super Bowl. PNC Park for Game 2 of the series with the Cubs. Jeff Locke gave up 3 third-inning runs, an infield hit, a home run. Javier Baez hit the line drive homer. Valbuena doubled, and another run scored on a double play ball. If you're keeping score.
Yeah, just one kind of little stretch that Jeff got out of sync, gave up 4 straight base hits, and well, the Cubs bunched them all together, and that's what happens. It's not so much about volume, number, it's putting them together, not scattering them. Produced the 3 runs, and he's been fine ever since.
Valleca joined the big league club when Emilio Bonifacio was dealt to the Braves last month. Two and one. Also spent a year in the Marlins system. Two balls and 2 strikes. "90 pitches now for Jeff Locke, so good chance if he can get through this inning, that will be it for him. But Valleca gonna make him work.
And you wonder if this would be the last inning. Well, he gets up near that 100 pitch mark, but since the last of those 4 hits in the 3rd inning, just one kind of freaky hit, a high chop. So he's been very good. You wonder if Clint Hurdle would stick with him. I guess I keep hoping for that. After a starting pitcher goes through a little rough patch, gets it back together, see how far he can run it out, because he's got it figured out since that 3rd inning. But we'll wait and see. The magic number is approaching of 100.
Still 2 and 2. Three and 2. So that fastball 91, 92, even 93 very early, but right now 89, 90.
Yeah, that's another factor that lends itself to bullpen intervention.
Wow, Valleca spoiling a lot of pitches here to start the 6th. He has struck out and hit into a double play. Locke has struck out 5. He has retired 8 of the last 9 batters he's faced.
He's been pitching behind in the count a good bit, but has only walked 1.
Oh, perfectly placed. Let's go back to the studio for a game break. So Dan Ramirez with his 15th of the year to get the Brewers on the board. And Brandon Compton will start to loosen up in the Pirates bullpen. Line foul. The Brewers a game and a half back of the Pirates, both in the division and in the wild card race. Cardinals leading 4-1, bottom of the 4th, hosting the Rockies. The Braves lost earlier to Texas. Well, the Pirates could come back and pull this one out. 4 games would separate them and the Braves in the wild card chase. And the Pirates' last road trip of the year following this homestand begins in Atlanta, a 4-game series against the Braves. 2-1 count.
I don't think there's any doubt about what you're talking about, Greg. Ball sharply hit to Walker, and then a foul ball just blistered over the Pirate dugout way out in front. Jeff is struggling. He's got the first out. But, as we had hoped for Garrett Cole last night, you want to get him through the 6th inning. He's pitched well enough, certainly deserved to have that happen. Get him through the 6th. That gives you a little better feel, although he's given them 3 runs. And if he finishes off the 6th, the Pirates break out. He's still eligible for a positive decision.
He has gone 6 or more innings 6 times since the All-Star break. It's another full count.
Once again, trying to get inside, not missing by much, and that's a call you can get. Didn't get it there, but you get that every once in a while. Now the leash is shortening.
Non-stop action, heart-pounding, exciting, historic performances. Don't miss the 2014 postseason beginning September 30th. It will be an exciting final couple of weeks to the regular season, and then the playoffs begin. The National League wildcard game will begin Wednesday, October the 1st. And game 1 of the National League Division Series will be Friday, October 3rd. The regular season will end on a Sunday, so the National League wild card participants will have a couple of days in between before they begin that. And the Division Series starts Friday, October the 3rd. Compton almost ready. Enlock probably has to get Junior Lake now to stay in the ball game. He's gotten Lake to pop up and strike out. And ball 1.
Much like last night with Garrett Cole, the 6th inning, a struggle with the Pirate starter.
Two and 0. You see that pitch count now at 103. Last time he threw more than 103 pitches, July 31st. Threw 104 that night.
This is a ground ball right here.
Now it's 3-0. Last pitch, the call he did not get from Alfonso Marquez. That was a strike. He didn't get it.
That's a couple of them now.
Green light, off speed, 3-1.
Eric Hinsky, first base coach, in conversation with Mr. Old.
A 24-year-old native of the Dominican Republic, Junior Lake. And back-to-back walks. 2 on, 1 out. And that will be it for Jeff Locke. He will leave trailing 3-0, and Brandon Compton will try and keep it a 3-run deficit will be inheriting 2 runners. Locke was just absolutely spot on in his last start. Best start of the year. This one, not awful, but trailing 3-0.
By the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Here in the 6th inning, Pirates trailing the Cubs at PNC Park. 3-zip, 2 on, 1 out.
Reserve parking. Valet parking. Brandon Compton making his 16th appearance, 10 of which have been starts. Going on to work in the top of the 6th. 2 on, 1 out. Locke goes 5 1/3, 6 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. On the hook for the 2 current Cub base runners.
Matt Caesar doubled in the 2nd and bounced out. A nice play by Josh Harrison in the 4th. Steve talked about the factor, one of the factors that helps in a start for any pitcher, getting ahead early. And a little pop-up infield fly is called. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yep, and that sets up the opportunity to leave those runners there.
In the case of Jeff Locke, his last start we talked about was so good. Clint Hurdle said it was the best start of the season. He threw first pitch strikes 70% of the time. 17 out of 24. Tonight, just 9 of 25 times. First pitch strikes. Again, not the only factor, but a factor for sure. I guarantee you Clint Hurdle will talk about that after the game tonight. One of the differences. But, you know, it's only 3 runs.
In this 6th inning, he obviously got tired. The walks cropping up. Yeah, so he worked through those efforts of pitching behind in the count most of the evening.
DeBront, first career hit, an infield single.
You got to figure if Compton throws some strikes, he's going to leave these 2 runners on the base paths. That would be a big item for the Pirates to keep it where it is.
2 on, 2 outs, down 3, a 1-1 count on the pitcher. Two and 1. Dan Straley loosens the bullpen for the Cubs. Well, the Pirates lost one of their biggest fans yesterday, 95-year-old Irene Hinderleiter. Watched every game on TV for years. Look out for the Pirates dugout.
Ray Searage getting the reaction there.
Nice work. And Compton, he strands those runners. At the bottom of the 6th, 3-0.
He was a two-sport player, played football and baseball at Villanova, but what you may not know is he helped save a young girl's life. You see, his football coach at Nova is Andy Talley. He runs a bone marrow donor program where every player joins the registry. Well, Matt was found to be a perfect match for an 18-month-old girl who was suffering from leukemia. Now, the procedure was set for a week before the national championship football game, and he was told he would miss 3 to 4 weeks. So he agrees to do the procedure and miss the championship game. But due to a setback in the girl's condition, the procedure was postponed. So he ended up playing in the game and did the procedure during baseball season. We're happy to report, Greg and Steve, the girl is now 4 years of age and living a healthy and normal life. And how about this for Carmen? In Caesar's last at-bat before he underwent the procedure, he hit a home run. So he missed a month, and when he came back, it was in West Virginia when Nova played there, and he hit a home run in his first at-bat when he came back after the procedure. How about that for a story? Helping save a young girl's life.
That's cool stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
5th-round pick 4 years ago out of Villanova, who was definitely an NFL prospect. Jordy Mercer, 0 for 2. Big inning here. 2, 3, 4 men against DeBrant. Two and one on Mercer.
Still looking for that first free pass. Got a shot at it here. DeBrant, not spectacular, just been getting a bunch of outs.
And getting the
trucking along.
Pirates to pull the ball a lot. And finally, a free pass. Maybe a chance to open the door here, but the Pirates have been getting that leadoff man on. They've done so in each of the last 5 innings against DeBrant.
In spite of that, just about 74 pitches. It's not an extremely high pitch count, but the activity does continue in the Cubs bullpen.
Popped it up. And the right fielder, Caesar.
This has got to be frustrating for Andrew against these lefties. Got to be frustrating.
And just crushed him last year, and as you said, doing a decent job this year, but not like we saw last year. Walker has hit the ball on the ground to the shortstop and flied out to left. First pitch strike. Out of play off to the right. One and two.
In that win against St. Louis, DeBrant did go 7 innings.
Two and two. Went 5 innings last time out against the Pirates. Two count on Neil Walker. And in the air to right. Easy play for Caesar. Kick off your Sunday nights with Panthers Rewind on Root Sports. Relive every Panthers touchdown, pass, and play from their most recent matchup every Sunday night this fall, continuing with today's game against Florida International. Panthers Rewind tomorrow at 6 on Root Sports. Panthers up to a 3-0 start with that win today.
Congratulations to University of Pittsburgh.
Here's Russell Martin, 1 for 1 officially. Sacrifice granted him in the second.
As Johnny Majors used to say, hail to Pitt. Hail to Pitt.
Paul Chris doing good work now with the Panthers. One as DeBrant threw a first pitch strike again to Russell Martin. Now it's a ball and a strike. Jose Tabata on deck, looking for a big hit, maybe a gap shot. A long ball would be nice. And we told you the Cubs have allowed the fewest in the league.
Yeah, we got the car started in all these innings, but can't get it out of the driveway. Just nothing after the leadoff action.
DeBrant so far able to silence this high octane Pirate offense. Just 4 singles. And bounce toward third. Valbuena. On to first, Felix Doubront. 6 strong shutout innings. Pirates in game 2 of the 3-game series, going to the 7th. AT&T fan photo of the night. What do we have here? It's PNC Park. And Manny Sanguillen.
Manuel de Jesus Sanguillen.
Holding a young Bucco fan. The great Manny Sanguillen.
Hey, we got the battery. I made the fan photo, what, 3 or 4 nights?
Yes, you did.
3 nights ago at the Celebrate Monroeville Festival. Frank Horrigan, nice enough to have us out there for the Chamber of Commerce booth. Great turnout. A lot of fun. Pretty excited about making the fan photo.
Should be. It was awfully nice of the young lady to send that along. You know, Sanguillen threw out 50% of the runners trying to steal in 1971. 50%.
Well, yeah, because he got his help from his pitchers.
Sure he did.
Yeah. Great arm. You talk about Johnny Bench. I wonder if he had that kind of percentage. He had the gun. You know, he got all the attention during that era. And Sanguillen, very, very good numbers defensively, offensively.
5-time All-Star Manny Sanguillen. Oh, 0-2 on Alcantara. There's 1 for 3. Moving the feet a bit.
Saturday night quick step.
And the other way for a base hit. Leadoff single. Compton now will face the hard swinging Javier Baez.
Another great turnout. Night after night after night, they come out to see their Buccos.
Pirates have 18 sellouts this season. Current home attendance mark 2,144,889 for the year. Already the 3rd largest in team history.
And counting.
Figuring to break the all-time single season attendance mark ever. Runner goes. Throw is on the safe call. Looked like it was on the money. Perhaps a tad late.
Here comes Clint to discuss this.
Well, I think they got him.
Yep.
We're going to hear or watch a challenge. Looks like they got him. Pirates will challenge.
I don't think this one's going to take too long.
Shouldn't.
Arismendi, you can stay there for as long as you want, but eventually you're going to have to leave, I believe.
Super slow-mo now. Supermo from the Allegheny Health Network. And this is what they're seeing in New York at the command center right now. He's out. You said, Steve, it should not take but a few more seconds. Fans are seeing it. They know he's out. Russell Martin knows.
Yeah, didn't have to call New York. Just listen to the crowd.
Yeah.
Pirate Nation flag.
Already about a minute and a half into it. When they start this clock, they start when the umpires put on the headsets. They don't take into account the manager going out there slowly, waiting a few moments.
I guess in New York somebody must have went out for coffee.
And they come to a decision, and it is safe. They came to that conclusion.
Wow,
Take another look. See what do you think?
Did not see that coming. That call. He's got the hand up, up, up. It is very close, but I thought he had him.
That'll be it for the challenge that took about 2 minutes. That replay. Pirates out of challenges. And now runner goes to third on what could be a pass ball. Perhaps a cross up. As though Martin diving a bit late as a wild pitch.
Breaking ball just kept running away from Russell. Regardless of the decision, everybody has to come in. You can't afford to give up much more.
Two and two on Javier Baez. Second strikeout for Compton. Second time Baez has been retired, both times looking.
Just a little bit outside.
Russell Martin helping out. You see Martin bring that mitt back in. Baez's reaction. Intentionally walk Luis Valbuena to set up a double play. Wellington Castillo next. Look out.
Castillo certainly a double play candidate, also a strikeout candidate. 93 on the year.
On the corners for Castillo. Compton pitched a scoreless inning last week in Chicago last Saturday. Pitched the 9th and the 5-0 Bucco shutout. He did not face Castillo. Did get a double play ball in that inning from Matt Caesar. He looks for one here. Strike one. Cards still lead the Rockies, bottom of the 6th, 4-1. Shelby Miller, 1 run on 5 hits in 6 innings. The Reds lead the Brewers 2-1. They're in the bottom of the 6th. That game in Milwaukee. 1-1 on Castillo. Time is called just as Compton was ready to deliver. Jeanmar Gomez in the bullpen for Pittsburgh. Two 2-1 count. Bobby Laframboise joining Gomez. Castillo has walked, singled, and struck out. Jeff Locke went 5 1/3, allowed 3 runs on 6 hits. He walked 3, struck out 5. So far, the one big blow of the game, Javier Baez, a line drive 2-run homer in the 3rd inning. Now it's 2-2 on the catcher, Wellington Castillo.
He wasn't enamored with that call.
Still talking. Again, more help from Russell Martin to buy that call.
And if you're going to keep getting that call, keep throwing it out there. Not quite that far. Sometimes you get the swing by the batter thinking, if they're going to call that thing out there, I've got to go out and protect it no matter how far out it is. He was able to lay off there, just a little bit too wide.
Fly ball, plenty deep to bring home another run. Sacrifice fly, and it is 4-0. Alcantara scores on the Castillo sacrifice fly to center. Pirates challenged that stolen base call. Command Center New York looked at it. The play stood, and now the run scores.
And the longer they were on the headset, the more concerned I became, because I thought it was going to be a quick out call. Not to be. Turns into a run.
Ted Barrett, the crew chief, at second. Valleca 0 for 3. Felix DeBrant has gone 6 innings. A 4-hit shutout ball. One and two.
So technically you can say he's had 3 above average starts to this point.
And a base hit to right. Valleca goes the other way and moves Valbuena to second. It'll bring up Mike Olt. That is going to be it for Compton. Jeanmar Gomez is ready. Clint Hurdle. You can see that the pain. It's painful watching the skipper walk out anymore of that damaged hip. And he'll take the baseball from Compton. Jacob Turner. Coverage begins at 1 o'clock here on Root Sports. Kids Day, all youngsters 14 and under will get a Garrett Cole Fathead Jr. wall decal. It's also going to be Boy Scout Day tomorrow. You can use your Advantage card for savings. Kids can run the bases after the game. And Clint Hurdle going to host some Crowder Willie kids tomorrow before the game. Full day of activities for kids from the Crowder Willie Clinic. Edinson Volquez will be looking for his 12th win. And now Jeanmar Gomez comes on to try and get the final out of this top of the 7th inning.
We will take a moment while he warms up to thank Harry Nitra for his fine note. Big fan of the Pirate games and broadcasters, by the way. Had a chance to meet him in town up on Mount Washington.
All right.
Professional photographer. Nice enough to send along some nice pictures. Harry, his brother's Tim, fantasy camp veteran. Good.
What else we got?
Here we go. We got a note from Paul McCann.
Okay.
Born in Pittsburgh, 80 years old this year. 8 fantasy camps. He was a big deal with Gulf Oil back in the late 60s when he bought the Pittsburgh Pirates to Nassau in the Bahamas to play an exhibition game. Nice note from Paul. Hope he's doing well.
Ball 1 on Mike Olt. 2-1 count. Shanmar Gomez. With 2 on and 2 outs, down 4. Hard hit, fair ball. Off the short fence, another run in on the double by Mike Olt, and it's 5-0 Cubs.
Smoked inside the chalk.
Olt drives in his 32nd run, playing in his 80th game for the Cubs this season. He was their opening day third baseman here at PNC Park when Pirates and Cubs opened up this season. Way back on March 31st. Somebody asked Clint Hurdle yesterday about the fact that middle of September now, just a couple of weeks left, and does that surprise you? He said, no, not really. He said, you know, you've got to play through the season. We're in September, and he's kind of matter of fact about it. It's a kind of a typical baseball season. Pretty much describes, I think, Clint Hurdle. He's a
realist.
Yeah, a realist. Exactly right. It doesn't get too high when the team wins, not too low when the team loses ball games.
Even though it's been since March.
Yep.
They've been grinding it out.
Yep. The season is the season, he'll say.
And we'll all be looking back, looking for where the tipping point was at some point, defining moment or moments of a season.
Do you have one in mind?
No, I just thought I'd make some conversation.
No, I do, because it's when Josh Harrison started to play.
Well, yeah, yep. Hard to argue that.
When Clint Hurdle made the decision to start putting him out in right field.
Yep.
When things weren't working out with that platoon of Tabata and Snyder. And how about this? You had Tabata and Snyder out there in the starting lineup tonight. Tabata in right, Snyder in left.
Josh.
And Josh is at third base.
I think we should have come up with that contest. Coming back from every commercial break, you got to find where Josh is. But pretty easy these days.
Gomez gets the strikeout. However, 2 runs charged to Compton. Cubs up now 5-0. 7th inning stretch time here at PNC Park. And Jose Tabata will be leading things. Enjoy, take me out to the ball game.
Take me out to the ball game.
Its magical rise from bench player to all-star and everyday third baseman. A one-man highlight show. Harrison's physical gifts, savvy moves, unbreakable confidence, once honed back by two talented older brothers. But now it's his turn to shine. Catch it all on Inside Pirates Baseball. Jay Hay, every day, Wednesday, after postgame on Root Sports.
Right on cue. We were talking about the defining moment for the Pittsburgh Pirates to this point.
Double switch. Chris Coughlin takes over in left field. And the new pitcher is the righty Dan Straley.
Well, DeBrant, a very impressive 6 shutout innings, as you mentioned. 4 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Not spectacular, not a lot of headlines, but after getting lead-off action to the Pirates throughout the evening, didn't let him get any farther.
Rick Renteria looking for multiple innings out of him as he makes this double switch. So Coughlin will bat second. He's in DeBrant's spot, or the 9th spot now. Had been DeBrant's. And the pinch hitter Andrew Lambeau batting for Tabata. Ball to strike on Andrew Lambeau. Flied out last night as a pinch hitter. Two and one.
Folks hoping to have some excitement here. Bottom of the 7th. They've been quiet.
Straley pitched a couple of innings last Saturday at Wrigley. Gave up a run on 3 hits. And a shot, a nice little pick on the backhand there to retire Andrew Lambeau. Nicely done by Olt. Greg Brown along with Steve Blass and Robbie and Smikowski for the middle game of the series. A 3-run 3rd inning for the Chicago Cubs. And that highlight in that inning was a Javier Baez home run, a line drive homer. Felix DeBrant, as Steve mentioned, 6 4-hit shutout innings. Pirates just 4 singles. Jeff Locke gave up 3 in 5 1/3. Gabby Sanchez 1 for 2, lined out to center field his first at bat. Popped up. Easy play, 2 outs. Another sellout, the 19th of the season, 38,024. Game that started the temperature at 61 degrees, so it is fall-like. It feels a little like last year as the Pirates headed toward their first postseason in 21 years. They're looking to make it 2 straight seasons into the postseason. But the Cubs trying to stall them a bit here, leading 5-0, and trying to end their 7-game losing streak. While the Reds are beating the Brewers in the top of the 7th 4-1, and the Rockies are trailing at St. Louis 5-1. Cardinals could go back 3.5 up on the Pirates.
The Braves are beaten.
Lost again to Texas.
Funny game, isn't it? 14 hits. Everybody knocking the ball around the ballpark last night.
And it's been almost expected now with this Pirates team, the way they've been hitting lately. This offense, 14 hits last night, 84 hits over the last 7 games, with 19 doubles, 8 homers. The first 11 games of this month. Before tonight, the Pirates with 115 hits, first in the National League, third in the majors. Gregory Polanco looking for a chance if Snyder can reach. Dan Straley came over from the A's in the Jeff Samardzija deal. And Snyder draws the walk. Polanco will hit for Gomez. First-year manager Rick Renteria. Theo Epstein talked the other day about the job that Renteria has done. He said the #1 challenge we gave him was to provide an environment for the young players to continue to develop and thrive in the big leagues. And easier said than done. This is, again, the president, Theo Epstein, about Renteria. Said he's lived up to everything that we'd hoped for, especially providing that the priorities that we gave him and the X's and O's in terms of how he's done in game management, that stuff. He said he's growing into that.
Well, Theo Epstein has a good reputation putting together the organization that the Boston Red Sox came up with, working with their minor league system. And Theo getting a lot of headlines of his own along the way.
Epstein said it's kind of nice that he can grow with this team, talking about Renteria. Well, it's 2-0. And Castillo out to talk with Straley after walking Snyder.
Oh, sorry I can't help you, Greg, but I've got nothing left in the mailbag.
What? Come on, you didn't clean that up.
It was busy.
Well, that wasn't as much as you had told. Do we have a tote board, by the way? How are we doing? While we have a moment, who leads?
Oh, I'm way ahead.
Are you?
I'm way ahead.
I hope so. And you should be.
Well, I was hoping for a little more encouragement from the truck, but that's where it goes.
You know, another interesting question that the Young Buckaroos Kids Club offered today before the game, and a couple of hundred kids asking questions of some of the Pirate players, including Ike Davis, Tony Sanchez, Chris Stewart, and said one young fan asked, who will be the next big thing in baseball? And a couple of the players suggested it would be Gregory Polanco.
Look at the final totals. I just nudged it 40-38 in the well, we have a moment segment of our broadcast. Pretty proud of that win.
3-2. This would be like Cheese Chester and Potato Pete, where you and I are going. Or I don't know who's leading that pierogi race.
Could be.
3-2 on Polanco. And in the air to right. Pirates have not hit a lot of balls very hard here tonight. When we go to the 8th, it's 5-0 Cubs. talking to you after the ball game and hoping the Pirates can have a late rally down 5. Folks getting ready for Leonard Skinnard. I heard that band was originally named for an old high school teacher who kept getting on one of the band members because of his long hair. And the teacher's name was Leonard Skinner.
Hey,
how about that?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Andrew Lambeau.
In right field, and by the way, before I so rudely interrupted you, is Polanco the next best thing? What was the answer?
The players suggested that it might be Polanco, yes.
Okay. Getting back to what you were talking about. Oh, the wonderful rhythm, huh?
Matt Caesar. Matt Caesar as the folks get ready for Leonard Skinner after the game.
Do you have a favorite teacher you would have named a band after?
Whoa. High fly ball to left. And Snyder's going to run out of room. Go ahead, Steve. Hale.
Caesar. Not what we had in mind for this evening's festivities.
First big league home run for Matt Caesar. Made it easy for them to get that ball back in play. Or back, I should say, out of play for the Cubs. Oh. Snyder tossed it to the ball girl. She tossed it back into the seats. First big league home run for Matt Caesar. Greets Justin Wilson. Have to negotiate with him.
His first Major League Baseball.
Six nothing Cubbies.
On top of that, they're after Ray Searage. Fired dugout. I don't know how close that one came. One earlier did. Close. First dinger.
Yeah, feels good for Matt Caesar. He'll be retrieving that baseball somehow. For now, it's his. What will they offer in return?
Usually it's a bat and autograph bat.
Now, what did you have to give away to get your first big league home run ball back?
We didn't do that sort of thing.
Well, you didn't have to because they threw it, I'm sure, back onto the field. And do you have it?
No, of course not. No.
Snyder.
The almost souvenir. And the kid that dived, he made the dive for it coming in. He almost picked it off before he got to the ball girl.
He's got it. I think he gave it to his mom. She's got it for the time being, and negotiations have begun, it looks like. Here we go. She says, you're going to ask him.
You know, I wouldn't give it back. I wouldn't give it back. He might never have a chance for another Major League Baseball.
Well, what if they gave him another Major League Baseball?
It's not the same.
Oh. I think she might be talking to her son about what's going on here, the negotiations. You just heard that's his first big league home run. He's looking out that way to see, okay, what's it going to take?
Negotiations are not going well right now, I don't think.
Okay, I'll tell him.
I love it.
So you don't want to give it up, okay? Ground ball, shortstop Mercer. Contra was retired.
That's pretty wild.
So far, nothing. There it is.
Well, possession is 9/10 of the law.
You know, sometimes also they actually meet the player after the game, and they might be telling him that, hey, you know, give this to him after the ball game. And
I'd send another kid in.
That would be funny. Send another kid in with a different baseball.
Yeah. The old bait and switch, hidden ball trick.
He's still considering his options.
Yeah, he up the ante. Don't even want a couple grand.
Two-one count on Baez. I wonder too, maybe they said, hey, after this inning, will you come back down below and we'll discuss
there's
what we have to offer. So
all kind of things could offer. Goodness.
Baez skies this one way up there for the out. Well, Matt Caesar with his first big league home run. And the negotiations continue. Run. We're showing you the young Pirates fan, his mom, and between innings, third base umpire Paul Schreiber came out with a new baseball. This is an easy exchange. Gives the young fan a different baseball and takes the home run ball headed toward the Chicago Cubs dugout. Paul Schreiber will send it toward the home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez, who tosses it into the Cub dugout.
You know, if that didn't happen, what they could have done is put Caesar over in left field, had him talk directly to the kid.
Yep. Tosses it in. Watch this little move here by Alfonso Marquez. Oh. 1 ball, 1 strike on Josh Harrison. We'll show you that move here in a moment.
You can tweet us and guess exactly what happened, and first one that gets it right gets a prize.
And a base hit for Jay Hay.
Another leadoff man on. Let's see if we can cash something in. Something going here. It's getting very, very late.
Base hit for Harrison, and there's the Marquez move. Let's go downstairs to Robbie and Smokowski.
Yeah, it's 10-year-old Douglas Seibel. He's from DuBois, PA, and this is the ball that just got replaced. Did you know what was going on at first, why we kept putting you on TV?
No, I had no idea what was going on.
Now, you're already having a good night because you got this ball, right? We'll put this one in your glove. But when I look here in the cup holders in front of me, there's another one here. The ball girl gave him another one. So Dougie's making out like a bandit tonight at this ball game, Greg and Steve.
Oh, Steve was just saying he thought that was the first, but it was his second Major League ball.
So this is your, so 2 baseballs in one night. What do you make of that?
I think it's pretty cool. These are my 3rd baseballs that I got in the game before, so I'm pretty excited.
It's a pretty cool deal.
Hey, what about Robbie? Ask him about negotiating.
What can you tell us about the negotiations with the third base umpire, Paul Schreiber, when he came out to talk to you? What went down?
Well, he said that it was his first home run and he gave me a new ball.
Did you ask for anything else?
No.
Did he consider it?
I don't know.
It's because you're a nice kid, that's why. Grandma Tony's right here. She's talking on the phone, yapping away. Tony, who are you talking to right now? I'm talking to your grandson on TV.
Oh, my word.
His mother's on the phone.
What's mom's name?
Leanne Nesbitt.
Hello, Leanne. Your son's on live TV right now. What'd she say?
TV.
Right. Well, Leanne must not be watching, but it's all in good fun. No negotiation, but a nice young man here from DuBois, PA. 2 baseballs.
All right, Robbie. Robbie doing good work. He's all over the place.
Well, that's all right. We've been yapping up here, too,
Rob.
right? So, yeah.
Nice young man there. Douglas Seibel.
Veteran collector of Major League Baseballs. Hey, you know, he deserves a baseball coming all the way down from DuBois.
Yep.
Yeah. Big thrill for that young man getting his first Major League home run.
Mercer walked his last time up. Pirates got the leadoff man on in the 2nd inning. Neil Walker reached on an error. Didn't score. Travis Snyder, leadoff hit in the 3rd. Pirates didn't move that runner from 1st. Andrew McCutchen, single to start the 4th. Was thrown out trying to advance on a pitch in the dirt. Gabby Sanchez led off the 5th with a base hit. He was stranded. Jordy Mercer led off the 6th inning with a walk. And now Josh Harrison with a base hit. Harrison currently hitting .317. Another way. And a fair ball. It'll bounce out of play, but that's okay. The Pirates need base runners. A double for Mercer.
You want station-to-station action. Stay out of a double play situation. And just keep the ball rolling. Slice and dice down the right field corner.
On base for the 2nd time tonight, Mercer. Double will bounce out of play. So for the 2nd time tonight, the Pirates get a base runner at 3rd base. Infield, of course, will concede a run. McCutchen pops up. That will not get the job done. One out.
People might say, hey, why swing at the first pitch? You know, you got a little something going. Well, you know, if you get something you like,
well,
you're going to take a rip at it. That
get a good one
right
down the middle.
Yeah. Yep, and he just missed it. So there's no problem in this kind of situation. You're down 6-0. If you see something you like early, go for it. Just didn't happen right there for Andrew.
Might be the best pitch you see of the at bat. Neil Walker 0 for 3. for the shutout here, still intact. Of course, first and foremost, they want a W. Pitchers have 9 shutouts this season.
I'm still trying to dissect that statistic of them giving up the fewest home runs in all of Major League Baseball. Playing at Wrigley Field.
Walker trying to get on any way he possibly can. Pedro Strop loosens in the bullpen for the Cubs. Davis getting ready. And they're loaded up. Russell Martin coming to the plate. Four grannies in his career this season, 5 for 12, a .417 average for Martin. And fouls off the fastball. 1 for 2. Sitting on 58 RBIs for the year. Drove in 65 his first year with the Yankees in 2011. Deep to left field, if it can stay fair. A foul ball. That close to a grand slam.
Just hooked it. Well, that woke everybody up. Up and in. They just got around it too much. See him studying it. Wow, how close can that come? Outside, and Straley missed and almost got the big burn.
Instead, just a long strike. Check swing, little flare foul. Does Josh Harrison react from third base on this deep drive?
Well, he's got the lean going.
Castillo going to be discussing things here with Straley. Straley has not given up a homer in 10 innings since joining the Cubs. Gave up 9 with Oakland.
Good take. Staying alive with fouling off that ball down the first base line. Taking that pitch downstairs, tempting. Well, you can see Straley trying to stay away now from a ball being pulled down the left field line.
Ground ball and a fair ball. Just down the line, it stays in play. So leaving it to wave home everybody. A double for Russell Martin to score Harrison, Mercer, and Walker. 6-3.
What an at-bat for Russell Martin, and what a great bounce for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He clears the bases. Got ourselves a bit of a ball game at this point. All right, take a look at this at-bat from Russell. Fouls the ball away, and then this is a one. This is a Sophia Loren. Looked good for a long time. Fouls the ball off. Takes down low. Again. Just try to stay away after the long foul, and then gets the chalk.
So another fastball after the check swing on the breaking ball, and then breaking pitch in the dirt. He rips the fastball just past third.
Look at the bounce back toward the infield.
But you never see this. Usually get a carom or a ball will bounce out of play, but it just stuck, allowing Nick Leyva to keep the windmill going and scoring uncontested. Neil Walker all the way from first base. The fans react on the Allegheny Health Network Super Mode to the bases clearing, bases loaded triple from Russell Martin. Gives him 61 runs batted in now on the year. Gentleman with a Ray Searage jersey. Russell Martin double inside the third base bag. Pirates catcher Buck's been looking for that really big hit, and he gave it to them. Making this much more interesting, and he's there with just one out. Pedro Strop will be pitching to Andrew Lambeau. 18 doubles on the season for Russell Martin. Renteria goes to the pen once again.
The numbers for this right-hander. Good ERA. I want to think about forcing him to throw some strikes.
Straley goes 1 1/3. The Cubs trying to maybe not stop the Pirates, but slow them down, while the Pirates are trying to come back from the big deficit. 95. Boy, if Lambeau can barrel one up, go a long way as he takes this fastball just off the plate. Strop has given up 2 homers in 55 innings. Fouled back. Pinch hit for Tabata in the 7th, stayed into play right. Pops it into foul territory. This will be the second out. Lambeau fouls out. Martin at second with 2 down. Mike Davis will pinch hit for Gabby Sanchez. Davis's numbers on the season. He has 7 hits and 25 pinch hit at bats with a pair of homers. Ball 1 on Ike Davis. For 3 in previous matchups against Strop. Evens the count. '59th game for Strop. 62 strikeouts and 54 plus innings. You take a look at the splits. Strike called 1 and 2.
Very quick to home plate, even with a crooked hat on.
Checks. Takes the breaking ball. Struck out Davis. 3-run double for Russell Martin. Makes it 6-3. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Russell Martin, 3-run double, scored Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, and Neil Walker. But he was stranded. Pirates pick up the 3 spot. Now John Axford.
Saw him last night, working the 9th inning, a couple strikeouts.
Mike Davis stays in the game to play first. Travis Snyder, a pinch hitter, and Josh Harrison will be due up in the bottom of the 9th. The comp closer is
is Hector Rondon. He has 23 saves. Pirates have won 13 of the first 17 meetings this season against the Cubs. And Chicago with a 3-spot in the third off of Jeff Locke, who's on the hook for this one. They added 2 in the 7th off Brandon Compton. And then Matt Caesar's home run against Justin Wilson made it 6-0 as Rondon gets ready. Valbuena doubled off the wall in right field in the third and scored. Was walked intentionally in the 7th inning. And he scored on the Mike Olt double. Six runs, 10 hits for the Cubs. 3 runs, 7 hits for Pittsburgh. Going to the bottom of the 9th in Milwaukee, the Reds leading the Brewers 5-1. Bottom of the 8th in St. Louis, Cardinals leading the Rockies 5-1. Braves lost and the Dodgers are pounding the Giants 9-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Pirates still have their sights set on that National League Central, though they could fall 3.5 back after tonight. And a leadoff walk. Most popular way to follow the Pirates' push to the postseason is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Get at Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com. Neat postseason shirt from last year. And the Pirates clinched a spot against the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley. Remember the out at the plate. Russell Martin applying the tag at the bottom of the 9th. Broncos clinching a playoff berth for the first time. Then they went into the clubhouse to see what was going on in the Cardinal game, and they celebrated in the clubhouse at Wrigley.
That made it really friendly confines.
Yeah.
It's a confined clubhouse.
It was on September 23rd last year, that 2-1 victory. Got the Pirates to 90 and 67. Road trip that started at Wrigley, and then they went on to Cincinnati and swept that series to earn home field advantage in that wild card game. Fly ball toward McCutchen. 1 out. Right now the Giants lead the Pirates by 4 games for the top wild card position, which would mean that if the season were to end today, the Pirates would have to travel out to San Francisco. So they're closer to the Cardinals for the division than they are the top wild card spot. Of course, the way baseball's set up now, you much prefer to win a division. You don't have to go through just that 1-game playoff. Ball 1 on Chris Valaika. Coming into this game, the Pirates had won 7 of their last 8, including last night's victory over the Cubbies, 7-3, out hitting them 14-7. As Garrett Cole beat Tsuyoshi Wada Tonight it was Felix Dubron pitching, 6 innings of 4-hit shutout ball. Really gave Rick Renteria and the Cubs a shot in the arm. As the Cubs look toward 2015, they are currently using a 6-man starting rotation. Here's a look at the playoff picture as it stands. That includes the Braves' loss to fall to 75 and 73.
We could wind up with similar trailing numbers in both categories. Dodgers beating the Giants.
Buena back once again. Valleca at the plate with 1 out of the 9th. Locke, Compton, Gomez, Wilson, and now Axford for Pittsburgh. Valleca single to right field off of Compton in the 7th. A good hack there on the fastball from Valleca.
Am I looking at this right? If things stand the way they are, we would be at 3.5 and back of St. Louis, and still 4 with the Giants.
If the Giants lose, the Giants are losing big. They started the day 4 up on Pittsburgh.
Losing big early.
Yep. Zip. Dodgers lead that one, and they've got Clayton Kershaw going tomorrow. Zach Greinke on the mound for the Dodgers tonight. They knocked out Tim Hudson. Hudson gave up 6 runs in 1 inning on 8 hits. Strikeout of Valleca for the 2nd out. Well, the Dodgers lead the Giants by just a game in the National League West. That's far from over, that division. Now Mike Olt. A fan has run onto the field. Taking him, they're escorting him off the field. So that fool will be taken off the field by the authorities. Handcuffed. With a runner at first and 2 outs, facing Mike Olt. They doubled in a run in the 7th. 1 for 3, plus a walk. Oh, and 1. Tomorrow, Edinson Volquez for the Pirates against Jacob Turner. Then an off day Monday, then Tuesday night, the Red Sox in interleague play. Boston lost to the Royals today 7-1. While the Tigers beat Cleveland 5-4. So the Tigers remain a half game up on Kansas City in the American League Central. Ball hit pretty well. Back is Lambeau for the final out. The final shot for the Bucks, heading to the bottom of the ninth. Down 3. Bases loaded, bases clearing double made it a save situation for Hector Rondon. Leonard Skiddard is getting ready to perform Fan Jam live after this ball game.
Let's make him wait a while.
Hector Rondon has put up very strong numbers. He's converted each of his last 9 save opportunities. 23 for 27 in save chances for the year. Strike 1 on Snyder. Brent Morel on deck. Maybe Rondon will be a bit rusty. He has not pitched in over a week since last Friday against the Pirates in Chicago. That was quite a layoff for any pitcher, let alone the closer. Sometimes even in non-save situations, you try and get your closer out there. Still, needless to say, throwing hard at 98 there.
There just aren't many relievers in the major leagues that come out of the bullpen throwing less than 95 miles an hour.
Checked. Quick appeal, no, over at third. Travis Snider singled in the third, grounded out his second time up, walked in the seventh. Another look, the pitch in the dirt. Check swing. Rendon in his first year as closer. Hit deep. Deep to right center field. Clear the deck. Cannonball coming. It is 6-4. Snider's solo blast is 11th.
Don't go away.
The Snider shuffle in the dugout makes it 6-4. First home run for Snider since August 13th at Detroit.
Proving once again, even at 98 miles an hour, major league hitters can catch up to him upstairs. Well, and that's hard to do. That kind of speed up.
Well, you've heard us talking a lot about it, the fact that the Pirates like, statistically speaking, the harder throwers. As Brent Morel bats, that's the second home run given up this season by Rendon. The other was June 23rd against Cincinnati. Breaks his string of 12 consecutive scoreless innings.
Get us a base runner. Get us a base runner.
$11 for Snider, a 2-run game. Two and two. Walks, 59 strikeouts, and 55 innings for Hector Rendon. And one down. Morel strikes out for the first out in the bottom of the ninth.
Rendon goes away from the heat. Softens up. It's Morel in front.
Now Josh Harrison, 1 for 4, singled his last time up. Lifting his average to .317, the National League leader. .98. This is going to be the second out, likely. 2 down. As Olt makes the catch. Jordy Mercer trying to get on for Andrew McCutchen. With 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Last 2 times up, Mercer has walked and doubled. Rendon made his major league debut here in Pittsburgh April of last year. It was a Rule 5 pickup by the Cubs off the Cleveland Indians roster. So he stayed in the big leagues all of last year and appeared in 45 games. 97, this hard-throwing righty from Venezuela. 6'3", 180 pounds. 1 ball, 1 strike. And now down to their last strike. 2-2. The Reds beat the Brewers. The Rockies trailing at St. Louis, top of the 9th inning, 5-3.
Making noise late.
Should do it. Baez. On to first, the Cubs even the series and snap their 7-game losing streak.
Yeah, they just got out too far in front, and the Pirates waited too long to make some noise with their bats. Made noise late, but too late.
Felix Dubron wins his 2nd game as a Cub, and Hector Rendon earns the save. Jeff Locke suffers the loss, and the series even at a game apiece. And we'll head back to the studio. Dan